My name Edmund Yakani, Executive Director of CEPO. I would like to take this opportunity to raise a concern on behalf of the suffering citizens across South Sudan from the implications of the political instability that is going on since 2013 until today, as we are aware that there was an interest to create a political process under the Tumaini to bring an inclusive government to engage on a political transitional process for transitioning our country from the political instability to stability. And we have seen the beginning of the Tumaini process was encouraging, was motivating, until we saw the parties on the mediation table, namely Government of National Unity, Artigono, and the opposition who are non-signatories, initialing 8 protocols, and in the middle a challenge merged around the concept of what is the intended purpose of Tumaini and its objective, which have led the government to review the initial protocols, and later on the government have accepted to join a phase 2 of the mediation of Tumaini process between the government and the opposition. As we speak now, they have reached a stalemate where the government say the initial protocols of Tumaini should be reopened for renegotiation per the observations that they have done as a government, where they have identified some repetition and contradiction of Tumaini provisions with other access and creation of new structures that are not existing in other access that contradict the structures of other access. And the opposition took opposite direction by saying no, they are not ready to reopen the initial protocols of Tumaini for renegotiation or for readjustment or review so that it match in line with our access. While as a stakeholder, we realize that both parties are speaking towards improvement of implementation of political transitional framework, whether under the provision of our access or newly merged provision from the Tumaini initiative. This is a good faith, but we are aware that now the parties have reached a position where they took a rigid position, not embracing compromise. As a civil society leader, I would like to appeal to the parties under the Tumaini to embrace compromises. As the government say, they are ready to dialogue, to talk with the opposition. And one of their readiness is that they want to share their position paper of reviewing the initial protocols or their take on the initial protocols, where they use the word repetition and contradiction. They want to present to the opposition. With this particular point require opposition to compromise, to listen to the government, because listening is part of the mediation. But also the opposition say to the government, if negotiation have to start from the point where they end. Similar position is shared by the government. Also, we have had several from the government say they're not negotiating from a new point. They want to negotiate where the process ends. And this is a point where also the opposition says, so let us start negotiating about inclusive government and responsibility sharing. And the government say, no, let us talk about the link between Tumaini and our access. All this require compromises. So what I want to demand is that both sides, government, Artigono, and the opposition, need to embrace compromises for the benefit of the suffering citizen from the political instability that the country is undergoing, which is mainly created by the political culture of rigidity, political culture of not accepting the reality. I would like to appeal to the opposition to embrace the principle of continued dialogues and talking between them and the government. And I will also urge the government to embrace the same culture of talking, taking a rigid position to let Tumaini failed. It is a disaster in our political transitional process. Success of Tumaini, it is a success. So I would like to appeal to both parties that embrace talking. Don't be rigid. Your rigidity should not make citizens as a hostage to political instability. Kindly embrace dialogue. It will be a big total political leadership shame if Tumaini fail, and this shows very clear that our political elites has positioned themselves that their rigid positions in the view of political transition, they don't care how much the citizens suffer under the rigidity. So my appeal to you is that we are losing lives of innocent citizens because of political instability in the hospitals, in the face of the floods, no salary, hunger. People are losing lives. If we are to gain political stability through Tumaini, we could have rescued their lives and we could have improved their lives. So please take responsibility now. My call to opposition, please listen to the government, and my call to the government, please listen to opposition. Thank you very much.